Millions of fans have already secured their tickets, booked their flights, and spent the past year carefully saving up for the 2026 World Cup. But there is one number that FIFA will never display on their promotional banners, and that number could completely wipe out your entire travel budget within the first 90 minutes of stepping inside the stadium. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how your first $100 will disappear from the sidewalks, right outside the gates, all the way to the food stands, inside, across all three host nations: the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is a historical beast. It marks the first time in history that three massive nations, the United States, Mexico, and Canada, are co-hosting the biggest sporting festival on the planet. Millions of fans from every corner of the globe are packing their bags. Many of you watching this have been meticulously saving your hard-earned money for the past year. You've skipped summer vacations, worked grueling overtime shifts, and booked incredibly pricey flights across the oceans just to witness 90 minutes of pure footballing history. You arrive emotionally vulnerable, completely intoxicated by the global festival atmosphere, and that is exactly when the heavy financial machinery begins to turn. Hiding right beneath the shiny surface of promotional videos lies a highly complex and heavily commercialized financial reality. Inflation, dynamic pricing, and the sheer scale of North American sports are creating the most expensive tournament ever witnessed. Currently, the holy ground of football legends, Mexico's Estadio Azteca, has just completed a massive renovation that swallowed up to $150 million. Everything inside looks absolutely dazzling, but at the exact same time, the legendary era of $2, beers, and super cheap meals in Mexican stadiums has officially been retired. And before we dive deeper into this reality, please note that to ensure absolute fairness across completely different economies, all prices mentioned in this video have been standardized to US dollars. This is an exclusive investigative report documenting the true survival journey of an everyday fan. We'll follow the money trail, starting from the sweltering parking lots right up to the heavy metal detectors in the US, Canada, and Mexico. We'll deliberately weigh the pros and challenging cons of each nation. We'll expose the hidden taxes, the merchandise realities, the FIFA Beverage cartels, and the harsh truth of stadium dining, ensuring your wallet survives the onslaught. Let's kick off our journey by diving into the vibrant streets surrounding Mexico's historic Estadio Azteca. The single biggest advantage here is raw authenticity and unmatched affordability. Long before the referee blows the whistle, the streets transform into a dense festival of sounds and aromas. With a mere $5, you hold the keys to the kingdom. Mobile push carts and local street vendors serve hearty tortas, steaming tamales, and freshly grilled tacos right into your hands. The scent of al pastor pork spinning on the spit fills the hot summer air, blending perfectly with local fan clubs chanting their anthems. Outside the gates, you are truly the king of street food. However, the main challenge is the sheer chaos. It's a disorganized, intense symphony of blazing charcoal grills and elbowing your way through massive crowds under a blistering sun. There are no designated walking lines, so you must actively navigate for your space and your food. Looking across the border to the United States, the situation completely reverses with their legendary tailgate culture. The massive advantage here is a parking lot party scene on the scale of an international mega festival. American football fans have truly perfected the art of the pregame. Die-hard fans drive massive pickup trucks straight into the lots, unpack industrial-grade grills, set up heavy-duty generators to run flat-screen TVs, and share giant plates of perfectly slow-cooked beef brisket. The aroma of burning hickory wood and classic rock blasting from premium stereos fills the air. You get to experience a highly communal vibe right on the concrete. But what's the catch? This entire culture relies on immense pre-planning and heavy infrastructure. You need a vehicle, hundreds of dollars for setup gear, and the commitment to arrive 6 hours early. If you're just a regular foreign tourist grabbing an Uber from your hotel, you're largely left out of this specific party, forced to march straight to the security gates. Caught between those two cultural spectrums, Canada chooses a distinctly polite path, peaceful and moderate. Because sports complexes like Vancouver's BC Place or Toronto's BMO Field are located right in the city's economic downtown core, the pre-game ritual revolves around concrete sidewalks and commercial districts. You can casually stroll down clean walking streets, dropping by air-conditioned pubs and upscale sports bars. The upside is that it's strictly safe, highly civilized, completely weatherproof, and requires absolutely zero preparation. The clear downside, however, is that it lacks the intense football frenzy and the wild tribal energy of a classic pregame. You're paying standard downtown restaurant prices, meaning it isn't a cheap street feast either. It's remarkably comfortable, but perhaps a little too sterile. The moment your ticket barcode is successfully scanned with a cold, electronic beep, the peaceful world firmly ends. You step through that automated security threshold and directly face the harsh reality of modern stadium pricing head-on. The United States will undoubtedly strike you first, with its overwhelming technological glitz. The tremendous advantage here is that American stadium food is a high-end, diverse culinary exhibition. Walking into massive arenas like SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, you won't just see basic hot dog stands. Instead, specialized culinary experts literally roll fresh sushi to order, while authentic Korean-style BBQ sizzles right next to massive vegan bowls. However, during a major event like the World Cup, global FIFA sponsors often take extreme control over the menus. While the high-end options remain, the prices are staggeringly premium. A standard burger easily shoots past $15, and the American checkout experience comes with a notorious surprise: hidden taxes and tipping screens. When you tap that beautiful digital screen to pay, a local state tax is suddenly added, followed by a digital prompt asking you for a 15% to 20% tip just for the cashier handing you a bag over the counter. In Mexico, the financial contrast feels the sharpest, simply due to the massive gap between the streets and the seats. After thoroughly enjoying a $5 feast outside, you step into the luxurious, fully modernized corridors of Azteca. On the plus side, the facilities are now world-class, featuring VIP lounges that rival any European stadium. It's a stunning visual upgrade. But then you look up at the brightly glowing LED menu strips. $13 for a single plate of tacos that looks highly similar to the one waiting outside for just $2. You're hit with a steep price markup tailored to match global tournament standards. Even the beloved street corn, a staple of Mexican working-class culture, now carries a premium price tag designed specifically for international wallets. Amidst this financial reality across North America, Canada might seem like a breath of fresh air, with their famous value menu concepts during regular club seasons, commonly featuring items like a $3.75 hot dog. The problem? When the World Cup rolls into town, major global sponsors usually override these local cheap menus. That affordable, subsidized ecosystem is suddenly forced to align with universal tournament pricing. The distinct downside is that you lose those local savings, leaving you to eat standard sponsor food. You get a generic white bun and an industrialized sausage, completely lacking the rich culinary artistry found in high-end US stadiums, or the fiery spices of the Mexican vendors. During 90 minutes of intense World Cup football, constant shouting, and the nerve-wracking anxiety of penalty shootouts will quickly wreck your throat. Hydration becomes a biological necessity, but get ready to navigate the ultimate beverage cartel. A regular, standard beer in Mexico's newly overhauled stadiums now demands an eye-watering price of $10.60. The incredibly bright side is that their local mixology remains naturally unmatched. You might find a stylish michelada, a beautiful concoction of cold beer, spicy sauces, tangy lime juice, and a heavy salt rim. It's uniquely flavorful and visually stunning. However, your digital wallet will shrink rapidly under these new stadium prices. The days of treating your entire row to cheap Mexican lagers are officially over. Meanwhile, the US also operates under strict sponsor control. You might be dreaming of dozens of locally brewed craft IPAs, but during the tournament, FIFA's major sponsors take over. You're paying an inflated $13 for a completely standard, globally recognized corporate beer. And the real hurdle in America revolves around pure survival water. A simple bottle of filtered water demands $6, and it comes with a deeply annoying security rule. Staff members at the counter will immediately twist off the plastic cap of your bottle and toss it into the trash to prevent rowdy fans from throwing full bottles as makeshift projectiles. Because of this, you have to carefully navigate a jumping crowd while struggling to balance an open, sloshing plastic bottle. Canada, once again, faces the reality of global syndication. If you're a local fan, you might remember the famed early game promotional value menus, where a draft beer could occasionally drop to a highly affordable $3.75. However, the World Cup completely rewrites the rules. Those beloved local discounts are immediately overwritten by standardized tournament pricing. That promotional $3.75 pint permanently morphs into an $11 corporate cup. Furthermore, because FIFA enforces identical, high-speed electronic payment infrastructures across all North American venues. The Canadian beverage lines will move extremely fast, but your wallet will drain equally fast. The local Canadian stadium experience becomes just as fiercely corporate, stripping away all its domestic affordability. Food and drinks are your immediate survival tools, but lasting World Cup memories are forged in the physical merchandise you bring home. In Mexico, the culture of street merchandise is a hurricane of vibrant colors and aggressive salesmanship. The massive upside is the sheer creativity of the street market. Long before you even see the stadium, hundreds of unofficial vendors will offer remarkably well-designed bootleg team jerseys, colorful sombreros, and massive flags for a mere $15. Some of these items feature incredibly unique artwork. The downside, obviously, is that the quality is highly questionable. One trip through the washing machine, and the numbers might peel right off. But once you cross the security lines, the official FIFA superstores open their doors, demanding a full $150 for an authentic jersey. The stark contrast between the $15 street hustle and the cold $150 official store creates a profound culture shock. In the United States, the merchandise approach is a masterclass in high-end retail psychology. The pros are undeniable. American stadiums feature massive, multi-story merchandise hubs that operate like luxury department stores, complete with flawless air conditioning, incredibly fast checkout lines, and interactive customization stations. The sheer efficiency is beautiful to witness. However, the pricing is incredibly steep. A standard jersey runs you $150, but a player issue version climbs to $200. Throwing in a commemorative World Cup scarf? That's another $45. And state retail taxes will instantly tack on another 10% to your final bill the exact moment you swipe your card. Canada adopts a slightly different strategy, focusing on clean, modern minimalism. The advantage here is strict pricing transparency and incredibly high-quality, summer-ready activewear. Canadian venues brilliantly sell sleek sports jackets, subtle graphic tees, and breathable athletic gear that you can actually wear in your daily life. The quality control is fantastic. The negative aspect, however, is that pricing remains strictly locked at a steep, premium tier, with absolutely zero room for the fun, chaotic haggling you find in Mexico. It's an orderly, polite, yet undeniably expensive retail experience. But there is one more crucial psychological trap you need to understand before we run our ultimate mathematical test. It's the invisible warfare of the cashless revolution. Notice how in almost every modern North American stadium, physical paper money has been entirely eradicated. The traditional days of handing over a tangible $20 bill and receiving physical change are long gone. Instead, you're tapping a smartwatch, swiping a slick metallic credit card, or scanning a QR code on a massive interactive kiosk. This frictionless payment technology is beautifully convenient, cutting down wait times significantly. But it's also a highly calculated maneuver. It psychologically detaches you from the physical pain of spending. When you tap a glowing LED screen for a $15 beer, the transaction feels practically invisible in the heat of the moment. You tap it at halftime to cure your thirst. You tap it again during a tense penalty shootout to calm your nerves. And you casually do it one more time to celebrate a stunning last-minute goal. It isn't until you wake up the next morning in your hotel room, nursing a slight headache, and open your mobile banking app that the devastating financial hangover truly sets in. The frictionless stadium economy is explicitly designed to make you stop tracking your budget manually. During the intensely emotional roller coaster of a World Cup match, these corporate venues know exactly how to exploit your joy and your anxiety. All right, we've seen the street food, the menus, the drinks, the merchandise, and the psychological traps. Now for the final deciding act. If handed a crisp $100 bill, how will your ultimate fate be sealed across these three proud hosting nations? In the technology-driven American arenas, taking a $100 budget to actively treat a family of four is a mathematical nightmare. Let's run the exact math. You cautiously order 4 basic $12 burgers and 4 $8 standard sodas. The subtotal is exactly $80. You think you're safe, but you forgot about the American tax and tip culture. A 10% state tax brings it to $88. Then, the electronic payment screen defaults to a mandatory feeling 18% tip. Your $80 order suddenly inflates to over $100. You haven't even bought a single beer, and your $100 bill has been completely wiped from existence, leaving you digging for your credit card. Reflecting back on the historic grounds of Azteca in Mexico, the ultimate rescue key lies permanently on the streets. A rookie will confidently rush straight into the stadium with an empty stomach, drop $40 on inside food, and still feel completely hungry. The wise, experienced survivor deeply appeases their stomach with a full $10 street feast outside, and walks proudly inside with $90 left on their balance. With that remaining $90, they can comfortably absorb the global sponsor shock, buying a few $10.60 premium beers and $4.50 waters inside the stadium throughout the match. Turning the final lens to Canada. Normally, a $100 budget on your credit card would brilliantly buy over 26 ice-cold beers at their famous promotional $3.75 value menu price. But under FIFA's global pricing reality, that dream simply vanishes. Your $100 suddenly only gets you roughly 8 generic sponsor cups. It's a harsh wake-up call that the World Cup spares no one. However, Canada's ace in the hole is its city downtown. You can spend $60 on heavily crafted, premium local food right across the street before walking in, leaving $40 for a couple of compulsory stadium drinks. The balance of North American power presents a complex answer. To quickly summarize our survival ranking, Mexico and Canada functionally tie for first place. Mexico wins on pure street culture and affordability outside the gates, while Canada wins on safe, incredibly accessible downtown infrastructure. America impressively delivers the absolute best culinary quality and merchandise technology in the world, but ranks at the bottom purely due to the devastating hidden mathematical traps of taxes, tipping, and extreme premium pricing. Where do you stand? Would you choose to step into the high-end American arenas for top-tier culinary quality? Would you dive headfirst into the chaotic but authentic street food of Mexico? Or would you head to the northern cities of Canada for a strictly civilized downtown experience? Type your survival strategies down below. Hit that subscribe button right now, because the next part of this series will strip bare the ultimate traffic battle. A $0.30 underground train ticket squeezed inside the densely packed Mexican metro world will face off head-to-head with a surge-priced $40 ride-hailing app, lying completely frozen amidst the jammed concrete of Los Angeles. Transportation will break your mind. Buckle up, start saving your pennies, and we will see you again very soon.